Okay, welcome to the latest production line video. I am Cliff Harris, or Cliffski. I'm the programmer and designer of the game. I'm here in the UK. It's incredibly hot at the moment. It's going to be 29 degrees today, which probably doesn't sound a lot in a lot of countries, but the UK is normally cold, so we have no air conditioning. Our houses have really thick walls and small windows, and they're insulated. So it's unbearably hot at the moment. So I have a fan right next to me that is like blasting air, and you might hear it and think, "What is this? Some rubbish new sound effect?" It's not. It's the essential fan. It's scarily hot. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about what we've done in the game in the last week or so, and what we're going to be doing next. I'm just going to load in a game I was bumper bug. That was it. Although the bug is now fixed, which is what I'm going to talk about. I've got some distortion here. I've been playing around with this stupid green screen thing, but it is so sunny that it kind of shines through the screen. Anyway, pay no attention to any visual anomalies. Right, so I have fixed a bug, and it's been a big annoying bug that has affected a whole bunch of people, and they have quite rightly complained about it for ages. So I'm going to explain what the bug was, and then we can all rejoice at its fixing. So basically, when you manufacture something in the game, let's pick something else. Let's pick a door panel. So a door panel takes in 2 steel sheets, it prints them, and it outputs 2 door panels. Okay, now that's fine. Most things that manufacture stuff only output 1 thing at a time, but some they output more. And in this case it outputs 2 door panels. Now if there wasn't room for 2 door panels, what the code should do is not run. So in other words, if we've got no export room, this is all full of door panels, for example, which it's not, it would just stop and say no export room. You see that this kind of message down here on that one, no export room. And that's how it's supposed to work. Now there was a bug. And the bug meant that at the start of producing something, the check it did to see whether or not there was enough output room for everything it would output used the wrong data occasionally. But the check at the end used the right data. Anyway, what this basically meant is it would try to output 2 door panels, for example, and there'd only be room for 1. So only 1 would get put down. And this would continue. And with something like door panels, you would never notice. It doesn't make any difference at all, right? That's, you know, okay, so who cares? However, there are certain slots, and here is one of them, make bumpers, which is one of the ones that it got spotted on, that when it outputs stuff, it actually outputs 4 things. Now the 4 doesn't matter, but what does matter is it outputs different things. So it outputs 2 front bumpers and 2 rear bumpers. So in this case, when you have the same bug, the code would go, yeah, there's 4 empty slots here that I can put stuff down on, which would be wrong. It would go through and it would generate 2 front bumpers and 2 rear bumpers. It would put the 2 front bumpers down in the 2 free slots, and there would be no other free slots. So the rear bumpers would be thrown away. So what would happen is, over time, the export thing here actually yeah, it's happened, but I can show you it being fixed. This is what would go wrong, right? So what would happen is this would fill up with front bumpers and not rear bumpers. Okay, so the front bumper stops fine. The rear bumper slot, if you set it to only use locally produced stuff, it would say, well, there aren't any rear bumpers, and the whole line would come to a standstill there, which it has. I fixed the code, okay? But because this is still full up with stuff, I need to kind of bodge it to get going again, if you have a game with this. So, I mean, you can just rebuild the slot, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say don't use only locally made rear bumpers. Prefer local, so use any, and it's going to import a bunch here, okay? And I don't need to let that go for that long. There, you can see everything's working now. Because what will happen then is the front bumper slot will still be taking stuff from here, and eventually when there is export room here, this will start churning out front and rear bumpers together, and it's now working, and it will now do that. Now, we don't actually have a way of showing here. That's a front bumper, front bumper, front bumper. It's a bit messy here because of all the conveyor belts. But this will effectively get fixed, right? Because it will start churning out multiples. Now, hopefully, and I do this live, as it were, hopefully if I put that back and just say, only use local rear bumpers. Rear bumper locally made. Look, it's already got a bunch. Hopefully that's now fixed. Hopefully if I put it to triple speed, it's not going to run out. It is going to start taking them from here, because this is quite rightly only going to produce when it can produce 4. So the cars are now going round, blah blah blah. The bug is fixed. Now I should point out that that bug, which was a pain to track down for all kinds of tedious, got to put that up, for all kinds of tedious reasons, it was hard to find. That bug will affect any production slot that produces different items at the same time. So arches was another thing. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I can do this with the blueprint mode, where did they get fitted? Axles, is it later? Fit rear arch, fit front arch, make arches. So yeah, so this is another one that makes 2 front arches and 2 rear arches. So if you're watching that and thinking that's great, you fixed the bumper bug, but I have that bug, but with arches it's exactly the same bug. And it looks like we didn't let it get too badly there, because you can see it already had some. You can see 4 slots there, and there you go, you can see them filling up, and that will over time become even. Obviously if you start a new game or you put down new slots, then everything will be fine from the very start. Okay, so that's something that I did this week, and don't be too hard on me for saying, you know, that doesn't sound like a lot of work, because it was it was really difficult to track down. It's a real pain to track down. I had to reproduce it for starters, and then it was a pain. So, but we have done other stuff. It used to be, believe it or not, if you gave a name to your car and you put a comma in it, where's the comma key? The game would crash when you load it. You now can't put a comma in here. You can put it in other text boxes, but you can't put it in here. Thank you to the person who reported that. We have another big feature which we didn't talk about. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, it's a fairly minor thing. I can't demonstrate. That when you mouse over the icon to unlock a whole new area, I've unlocked all of them here, it will highlight the whole area to make that more obvious. It's just a user interface tweak. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I have a refund user interface now. Now this is hard to find because it's pretty rare. But let me explain. Oh, look, did you see that bug? There it is, there. Refund unused 11. I spotted a bug there. Oh, I hate bugs. Yeah, it happened here. So think of it like this, right? Say you're fitting headlights to the car, and say most of your cars have directional headlights, meaning the ones with motors that like move as the car moves, so that they can look round corners, which is a thing. So most of your cars have that, but some of them don't have that. They have LED lights instead. You can have both together, but whatever. Most of your cars have directional, some have LEDs. So you order in all these directional lights, blah blah blah. The cars come through, they get directional lights. Next car comes through, gets directional lights. Then a car comes through that doesn't want directional lights, it wants LED lights. And all you've got is directional lights, right? So you evict some to make room to import some LED lights. That's fine. The next car comes through, it wants LED lights. The next car comes through, it wants LED lights. All of those directional lights that are sat there in the stockpile ready to be fitted, they're kind of taking up room and reducing the speed at which you can get lights onto cars, right? If they've been there too long, if we've used like 16 LED lights on, you know, the last 4 cars, and we haven't needed any of those cars, those other lights that are just sat there, we refund them. to make room. You get your money back, you send them back to manufacturers saying, look, we've ordered too many of these. And then you've got loads of room to get loads of LED lights, and things are more productive. That's been happening for months, okay? But recently I changed things so that you get a little bit of user interface that crops up, which is like these things, but it floats up and it's green, and it will tell you that we just refunded some resources because that happened. It's pretty rare that it happens, but when people notice it, they say, oh my god, bug. Sometimes people get confused thinking it's a bug when it isn't. So there, refund unused for, you see that floating up, so we just did it. Lights will do it. Any slot that is fitting components, where those components can vary, will do it depending on what cars show up. So aircon will do it, for example. If you have, where's aircon? I think I moved it down down here somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, because it's a similar thing, right? If most of your cars come through and they have aircon, and then some have climate control, and then you have a whole load of climate control, you'll get the same phenomena. Depending on the upgrades and depending on the cars, and depending, it happened just then to something. Refund unused wing mirrors. Yeah, we've got a lot of different types of wing mirrors, and again there. So we've just swapped to a new type of car. That's basically what's happening. If you always alternate your cars really quickly, you know, one sedan, one SUV, one sedan, one SUV, and they use different things. Depending on how many resources you use, it may happen a lot, or it may stop happening. You have to kind of experiment. If you want it to never happen, then what you do is you use smart junctions. You put down a smart junction that says these car designs go that way. Though it's happening a lot here. We've set this up really badly. Cars that don't use that go the other way, and you would then have two wing mirrors. So you'll see here I've got two slots that fit wing mirrors, and I'm letting any car go in any one. So as a result, they're sometimes optimizing for optimizing for the wrong set of headlines, because I keep alternating the car. You can see that's an expensive car there, sedan model M. That one there is just a sedan, a cheaper one. These have different requirements. So what you would ideally do is you would set up this little production line here for the expensive cars with the fancy wing mirrors, that one there for the budget, and you would use smart junctions. That's what smart junctions are for. Okay. Anyway, yeah, there you go. I'm going on about for hours. Something else that I've done is discounts. You know, when you have cars like this that have defects and missing expected features, it's an expensive Model E, whatever. Look at all these other sedan Model Es that are also expensive, but I don't want to drop the price just to get rid of that one. I want a discount. So we now have a system of discounts. By default, you have a discount if you don't have universal features, and you have a discount if the car has known defects. And you can set these to whatever you want. However, or you can just leave them at 0. However, you can also add new discounts and say, if you've been in the showroom for 24 hours, let's knock 10% off. Oh, there's a bit. Oh, look. Oh, bugger Hontus. I need to fix that. That's not translating. So, and you can have multiple ones. Yeah, you could have another tier. So you could say, if you've been in here 64 hours, let's really drop the price to clear out the showroom and get stuff moving. So this is a new thing. People requested that. I hope you like that. So that's what I've been working on. There's a few other things. The save game sizes are smaller now. I optimized that. If you mouse over these slots here, if it's a manufacturing thing, like for example make C, I keep wanting to point at the screen. You can't see my finger. It will now tell you seat 1, you know, horn 2. So it gives you more information before you actually place them. I know there's a problem with modding. I'm going to try and fix that today. I'm going to try and add an option where you can start the game with all the tech researched if you want to. And also I'm going to try and add a little button up here to toggle on and off all of the conveyor stuff. So you can, so when you've got a lot of conveyors and you zoom in and it's a bit messy, you can switch them all off to see what's going on. Some people have asked for that. I've got other stuff that I want to talk about, but I'm going to do that next week. And then the next thing I think I'm going to work on is marketing campaigns per model to shift a particular model. So at the moment we have marketing campaigns, but all they do is they boost the number of people that turn up at the showroom. What I also want you to be able to do is to boost the desirability of a particular model. So you can experiment with like promoting a particular model and then upping its price and seeing if that works. Because again, that's something we wanted to put in for ages. This green screen failure is really annoying. Anyway, that's what I've been doing this week. Lots more coming up. I am actually going away in 2 and a bit weeks. So there'll be a slight delay to stuff when I go away. Okay, so anyway, thank you for watching this. This is Production Line. It is on Steam in early access. It is also on GOG, and you can buy it direct from us, where we get most of the money. Yay! And if you like it, please leave a review. I do read all the forums and the Facebook and Reddit and everything, but there's a lot of it, and it takes up a lot of time. So sometimes it takes me a while to reply. But if you see a bug, don't just be angry and say game is full of bugs. You know, let me know, email me, I'll put it on the forums, and obviously I want to fix all of the bugs that I see in the game. I'm fully aware of this little visual anomaly down here. It's on my list. I have a date to fix that. I can't think when it is now, but it's after I come back from holiday. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please buy the game, please subscribe. I am Cliff Harris from Positech Games. This is Production Line, and I will see you next week. Thank you.